Be sharing with you ways to protect yourself from IRS audits, and I'm going to give you some great tips to do that. My name is Mike Sullivan. I'm a former IRS agent, teaching instructor. I worked at IRS for 10 years, a decade. I've been in private tax defense for 41 years. So, yeah, I've been doing this a really long time. Thank you for being here today. I love to get in and out, tell you what goes on behind the curtain. And like I said, I do representation in case you need anybody. Go to my website if you want to learn about me. I don't have to go over all my cha-cha stuff. Just go at 777irs.com. I've been on national television really quite a bit. Thank you for being inside my home office here today. What are some of the insider tips I can give you for an IRS tax audit? Well, we handle larger cases, and the best tips I can tell you is you don't need all your receipts. You know, people go, oh my God, oh boy, is that bad, good, what's going to happen? Well, very simply and simply put, you have to understand something. Very, very important that you know this. Nobody that I know ever had, well, I shouldn't say that. Very few people have ever gone into an IRS office and had all their documentation. It's very rare, a matter of fact, that that's really ever happened. So the best tip that I can give you, huge tip though, it's IRS allows reconstruction, and they don't tell you that. The auditor at the other side wants to close their case, pick up as much money as they can, say, look what I did, look how much money I got from this audit, isn't this great? They don't make a commission, but they're pounding themselves on their chest. Wait a minute, wait a minute. They don't tell you, well, why don't you try to reconstruct those receipts for us? And they never tell people that. Why? They want to close the case, and they don't want to have a lot of aggravation, a lot of people, you know, making their life tougher, going to appeal. So yeah, you can actually go ahead and reconstruct. Let me tell you what that means. Simplest. So, and it happened. It was, God, it happens many times. People call me. They try to do their own audit. They get burned really bad. They say, hey, Mike, I've got this audit. I got burned. What should we do? What can you do? Let's say you were a painter and IRS brought you in there and says, give us all your documentation. And you say, well, you know what? It was on my paint truck, and wouldn't you know it, I rolled down the window, all my receipts, you don't believe all the stories I get. All the receipts blew out the window. I can't find them anymore. So, okay, well, I'm not here. So I got to disallow all the expenses, close the audit. You owe us now a bag. Pay us up. No. That's not how it works. So what I would do is I'd go ahead and tell the auditor, hey, pick 3 months. I don't have my receipts, but let me do reconstruction. What months do you want? Well, force the auditor to tell you, well, look at February, look at May, and let's look at November. You want 3 months? Okay. I go ahead and I look at the jobs I did, and my painting jobs I did in those 3 months. Well, I had to drive this many miles. The house is this many square feet. Here's the house on Zillow. I painted the inside of the house. I have a little document from this particular person who owns it. Yes, Mr. Smith painted the inside of my house, 3,500 square feet. I know what paint he used, so I go and I have you go and get you go to the vendor and pick up the paint receipts that you had to paint that house, and how many brushes, how many rollers, how many masking tapes. You can literally reconstruct your expenses that IRS has to allow because they're reasonable and they're not really suspect. So yes, you can don't let IRS ever bully you and tell you you can't do reconstruction because you can. I've had it every single industry, by the way. Their industry standards. There's, I think, IRS has 9 or 11 accepted sites that people have actual average statistics they use for income and expenses, that you can go ahead and say, hey, IRS, here, these are national averages across the board, what expenses are given on this type of income. And all you got to do is show some proof, and a good auditor will go ahead and say, well, okay, well, what happens if that person isn't good? That's okay too, because you can say, okay, you don't want to allow that. Hey, let's go to the appeals division and see how I make out. Well, that auditor generally wants that agreed case. So they do not want you necessarily to go to the manager. But if you do have to go to a manager, it's okay. So you take the case to the next. Oh, you're going to go to appeals. Appeals doesn't want to give it to you. Well, guess what? You get another slug at this when you go to tax court. They issue you a 90-day notice of deficiency. Big deal. You send your tax court petition in. Big deal. It gets docketed, and guess what? Another appeal agent looks at it. You actually have three cracks at going ahead, and someone says yes, yes, and get a better result every time. So don't go ahead and let IRS push or bully you around. Stop that anyway. These are some of the best tips, insider tips that I can give you in case you have an IRS tax audit. If you need expert representation, we'll kick their ass, definitely. Give me a call. I answer my own phone. You need me, you know how to get a hold of me. By the way, you can always send me a text question, give me a comment. By the way, most of my YouTube videos come from comments that you give me. So you want to leave me a comment, boom. I'll usually, well, I don't want to say usually. I will make videos by what you sent because those are the questions I know you want. Thank you very much. I appreciate your, give me that damn subscription. Thank you.